for remaining with us here at Smart 24. Remember, we are found on GoTV channel 394 as well as on our social media platforms, where we give you all information concerning your business and all other aspects of whatever is concerning what's driving business around the country. And of course, remember always to follow us on our Twitter and all the conversations at the hashtag Financial Markets. My name is Anthony and I'm your host. Now, in another story making headlines here on the African stock market, the Botswana Stock Exchange and the Ghana Stock Exchange, that is the GSE, joined the African Exchanges Linkage Project. Now, the African Securities Exchange Association, that is ASEA, African Securities Exchange Association, has admitted the Botswana Stock Exchange and the Ghana Stock Exchange to the African Exchanges Linkage Project, that is the AELP. The admission was formalized by, of course, the African Exchange Linkage Project, the AELP Steering Committee meeting on the 31st of May 2022, held on the sidelines of the 10th edition of Building African Financial Markets, that is BAFM. Now, the seminar was hosted by the Central African Stock Exchange, that is the BVMAC, that is, of course, the Bourse Val-d'Imagé, and that is the Bourse or the stock exchange for all the West African countries that are formed one stock exchange called the BVMAC. Now, speaking on behalf of the steering committee, the chairman, Dr. Edo Kosi Amenov, said that the admission of the two exchanges, that is the Botswana Securities Exchange and the Ghana Securities Exchange, of course, onto the African Exchange Linkage Project, is a demonstration of the importance of enlarging the community of exchanges integrated through the Africa Exchange Linkage Project. Now, as we have added 2 members to the committee, the current 7 exchanges, we hope that in the coming years more will join as of course we seek to have increased participation in the capital markets integration. This shows our commitment as exchanges to put our best effort towards continental integration by facilitating cross-border securities trading and movement of capital. He also said they would therefore like to congratulate the Botswana Stock Exchange and the Ghana Securities Exchange and officially admit them to the Africa Exchange Linkage Project. Now, the project, that is the Africa Exchange Linkage Project, is a project that is conducted across African security exchanges, and this is aimed at integration of the exchanges to see that people can actually, buy capital, trade capital across borders conveniently. The project has been built around selected securities exchanges that have gone through market preparedness assessments and, of course, conducted by the African Securities Exchange Association. The original exchanges participating in phase 1 of the Africa Exchange Linkage Project are Bourse Regional de Val, that is Mobilier. That is Bourse Regional de Val de Mobilier, which is BRVM, the Casablanca Stock Exchange from Morocco, the Egyptian Stock Exchange from Egypt, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, that is from South Africa, and of course the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Now, the Nigerian Exchange, that is NGX, and the Stock Exchange of Mauritius have also been a part of this project. Those are the 7 exchanges. You can imagine, from Ghana to Mauritius to Nairobi, then to Bourse de Val de Journal, and then of course to other security exchanges now, like in Botswana, and of course Nigeria. Now that is something that I think is going to impact the African securities exchanges and of course the capital markets in general, of course in East Africa, in Africa as well. The project is aimed at boosting Pan-African investment flows through the creation of linked exchanges that enable people to transact across borders. They transact securities across borders. As progress has been made on the interconnectivity of the initial 7 exchanges in phase 1, of course, the expansion of the project is being seen at a very near distance. The project, commenting on this milestone, the CEO, of course, of the Botswana Securities Exchange, Mr. Thapelo Shilo, said that the Africa Securities Exchange Linkage Project, that is the AELP, is a transformational initiative that is set to revolutionize and harmonize the trading of securities amongst participating exchanges across the continent, in the sub-Saharan region in particular. Now, hence the Botswana Securities Exchange, we took an immediate decision to join the original 7 participating exchanges in order to stimulate easier cross-border trading in our marketing, of course, and similarly also provide a gateway to other regions' marketing, of course, to promote regional marketing for our local investors. As a key strategy initiative by the African Stock Exchange, that is the African Securities Exchange Association, he is confident that they will have a positive effect on liquidity levels across African markets and consequently also serve as a value proposition to attract investment inflows into Africa. Now, therefore, he would like also to thank the African Securities Exchange Association Executive Committee for admitting the Botswana Securities Exchange into such a wonderful project. Now, the Africa Exchange Linkage Project is a project that was started, of course, by the African Securities Exchange Association, ASEA, to kind of have a linkage, like the project name goes, of all the exchanges in the sub-Saharan region of Africa. And of course, this would help investors locally situated in these countries to actually trade across borders in capital markets. It so far has 7 exchanges. That is the Ghana, the Mauritius Exchange, the Nigeria, of course the Nairobi Securities Exchange, of course the Boaz, the Val Mobilier, that is the East African, West African Security Exchange, and of course now the Botswana and the Johannesburg Security Exchange. These are the exchanges that have already enrolled the African Exchange Linkage Project to see that the integrated region's capital markets that people can actually transact across all these borders flawlessly. Both exchanges, that is, of course, the Africa Exchange and all other exchanges in the exchange, have demonstrated increased efforts in promoting cross-border trading within their markets and regions. The Botswana Securities Exchange, for instance, has in the recent years revised its listing requirements in order to boost regional cross listings within the Southern African Development Community, that is the SADC. The Ghana Securities Exchange has also taken part in the capital market integration initiatives as a key driver of the West African Capital Markets Integration, that is the WACMI. And of course, now these 2 exchanges will join the 7 to make 9 exchanges that have already, hopped onto the project of the African Exchange Linkage Project. In this remark, the managing director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Mr. Eko Afedizi, said that the Ghana Stock Exchange is proud to be admitted to the African Exchange Linkage Project program, that is the AELP there. And of course, they are delighted about the opportunity to benefit from the laudable initiative of the Africa Exchange Linkage Project in addressing the liquidity challenges facing many African capital markets by providing a platform to accelerate the process of cross-border investment flows in the continent. That is one of the stories there, making headlines on the capital market scene in Africa as the Africa Exchange Linkage Project seeks to unite these exchanges from all over the continent, seeing that many have still been facing issues of liquidity and issues of investing in other countries, which have been put under restriction by mostly the regulators and some players in the sector and governments. So they're trying to break some of these bottlenecks and see that, of course, they help people across borders to invest flawlessly without any encumbrance. And I think it's a good initiative, and we hope probably in Uganda we can have something similar, seeing that the Uganda Securities Exchange also is one of the securities exchanges that have been here for a while. I think for the past 20 years, we've seen the capital markets, grow in Uganda. So I think it would be a great opportunity for us to actually, get listed, get involved in such a project. It would help, I think, promote investors, local investors investing in markets in Ghana, in Nairobi, in Johannesburg, in Egypt. That would widen our market and probably get more investors investing, and of course the returns would return to us, and we would make a lot more out of that project than just staying on our own and with our few listed companies here. That's exactly why even cross listings happen, to promote foreign investment, to promote local investors investing in other companies. A narrative that has always been the argument is that most of these companies that are listed are actually, witnessing a very sharp increase in number of investors from abroad, with over 90% almost of investors, for example, in big companies like Umeme, being foreign. Of course, capital markets are open to anyone who wants to invest from all over the world, but we would love to see more of our local investors investing in our own companies, but also going abroad to now invest in other companies. I think that will contribute a lot to our foreign exchange, and as well help us improve, on our markets and how they have been performing. And so that way, I think the Uganda Securities Exchange should one time consider us being helping onto this project. Of course, according to the African Securities Exchange Association, there are parameters and assessments that have to be made for a security exchange to be enrolled on this project. But it would be a great opportunity right there, just like for Botswana and Ghana right now. Now the project has nine securities, that is Mauritius, Ghana, Johannesburg Security Exchange, Botswana, of course Nigeria, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, of course the BRVM, that is Bourse Regionale de Val, that is Mobilier from West Africa, and of course the Casablanca Exchange and the Egyptian Exchange. Those are the 9 exchanges that have so far been listed or have been actually enrolled onto the project of the African Exchange Linkage Project. Good, wonderful stuff there. And now we go back to our story that we were talking about the banks right now that are issuing dividends giving ourselves a narrative a little bit of what these banks could do. These banks like Stanbic Bank, as we have said, 50 billion for the year 2021 and 50 billion for the year 2020. But before that, the banks had actually declared a 95. For example, Bank of Uganda had declared a final dividend of 95 billion. That would mean 1.86 shillings per share for every dividend, for every share held in the company, that is Stanbic Bank, for the financial year 2020. However, Bank of Uganda rejected this approval for payment. And of course, for 2021, Stanbic Holdings has proposed a final dividend of over 50 billion or actually 0.98 Uganda shillings per share for each shareholder at their June 2nd annual general meeting. Making it a little bit more practical, before we went into that short break, if at all today the stock market is trading shares at 22, this is what we want to do. We want to be a little bit more practical. Right now, if you have 22,000, you buy yourself shares in Stanbic Bank. That's 1,000 shares. Yes? 22,000. If you buy yourself shares right now, if you just open an account, you go to MTN, use your MTN number, dial *165#, and then you go into financial services, and then you get a broker, and then you put that money there on your mobile money at 22,000. You're going to actually get a dividend worth 9,800. Think about it, 9,800. Remember, your shares are going to still remain there. Meaning anytime you can actually decide, you know what, I want to trade these shares. And if you want to trade the shares, you get back your 22,000 through your broker. You just tell them, I need to trade, I need to sell these shares. So you sell them, you get back your 22,000. And with that, you already got a dividend of 9,800. Now let's take the stake a little bit higher. If you have, if you buy today 100,000 shares, that is, not 100,000, 10,000 shares. That is at 220,000. 220,000, yes. If you buy 10,000 shares today, meaning you're going to get a dividend of over 98,000. That is close to 100,000. Almost half of what you invested is going to come back to you in dividends. I mean, this is surprising, but this is exactly how people are making money on the stock market. Now you can have that 98,000, almost half of what you invested in, just as a dividend, just as a company saying thank you for investing in Stanbic. So you're going to have yourself 98,000. But as well, you can choose to trade back those shares that you bought at 220,000. Now, when you trade back, you get back your 220,000 plus the 98,000. That is 200. That's over 300,000. Yeah, that you have made. Actually, 300,000 out of 220,000, without you going to town to Kuyiriba, without you actually going to Stanbic Bank to offer your voluntary services. No, just putting money aside, putting it in the hands of the right broker, and then you get yourself money. This is exactly what we are talking about. And I would like to encourage you, dear viewer, to get your mindset changed. Start investing. That money you're keeping in the box, that money on your savings account, on your current account, I don't care what kind of account. Maybe a fixed deposit account, maybe. But that money you're really keeping on a cash account for what? Why are you keeping it there? They're just going to chop and remove bank charges all the time, which is a bad thing for your money. Put that money in the stock and wait for your dividend, and then wait probably for the markets to go up and sell those shares. By the way, we are looking at the market remaining at 22,000, at 22 shillings. I'm just taking a case for Stanbic. You can invest in any other company right now. But for Stanbic right now, because we are seeing what's happening, you're going to actually, you might see this share price going up because many people are going to start buying. Even as I'm talking right now, people are buying shares in Stanbic. And so if you buy right now and the price goes up, you already get your dividend, you're already liable to a dividend, and then you have actually at a higher price. You're getting capital gain, but as well taking part in the dividend. That's exactly what I want you to think about this morning. If you can have that 22,000, put it there, get back your 9,800, and as well trade back that 22,000 and get back your money. This is exactly the beauty of capital markets, earning passively without your input. Take it or leave it, that's my advice to you. But we're going into a short break. We'll return with more stories, but as well, we anticipate highly our guest, Ms. Sharon Tumushabe from Zeno Investments. Zeno Investments, like I said, is one of the companies that has made strides in investment, but as well in technology and convenience, making transactions very easy and fast and convenient for all customers based on their websites, using their app. These guys are really cool, and I think this is the second time we're having them on the program because they're really, really cool. They have some cool stuff. So you don't want to miss that. Let's take a short break. We'll return very shortly. Don't go anywhere.